Chomsky, thank you for joining us. Would you or do you consider yourself a person of faith?
I try not to have faith. I believe in a principle that was enunciated rather well by Bertrand Russell, which is that you should try to keep away from having irrational beliefs. You should believe some things that for which you can find some evidence or some support, apart from commitment to principles like equality and freedom and justice and so on. Those, I wouldn't say that's faith. Those are things you're committed to. But as far as beliefs about the world, reality, my feeling is one should try to, as much as possible, have substantiated beliefs, or at least beliefs for which evidence could be appropriate.
Well, then, would you consider yourself, paradoxically, a person who has faith in the scientific method?
I think it's the only method we have to try to get some approximate understanding of the world. I don't have faith that it'll reach the truth or even that it's leading us in a true direction. In fact, as someone committed to the scientific method, I'm also committed to its consequences, and among them are that you and I and the rest of the species are organic creatures who have our specific capacities and limitations, and we simply don't know and have no reason to believe that these capacities are such that we can gain the truth about the world. We do our best, but that's the most we can do.
But there are people who would say that you cannot have moral principles unless you adhere to a faith.
If I attribute those principles to a divine creature who I define as ordering me to have those principles, the principles don't become any more better established. So that's a useless step. It's true that our moral principles are not firmly grounded in unshakable evidence and argument, but nothing is going to make them any more firmly grounded. As for having a meaningful life, that seems to me irrelevant. You know, people who have meaningful lives with faith and without faith.
Do you think holding a supernatural worldview is healthy and beneficial for humanity?
It's not for me. I don't see any point to it at all. On the other hand, I know that it means religious beliefs and other forms of supernaturalism happen to mean a lot to a lot of people. If I find someone who's, say, mourning the loss of a dead child and is comforted by the idea that they'll be reunited with the child in heaven, it's not my business to try to convince them that their belief is incorrect. In fact, in a way, I think they're lucky to be able to have such a belief. I don't have it, and I don't think in the long run it's healthy. But we can't legislate to other people what they should believe in order to, say, comfort themselves.
What in general do you feel then about religion's role in human society, both historically and here in the 21st century?
Overall, I think it's, in terms of its effect on policy, ranging from social policy to war, I think it's been mostly negative. In fact, often extremely negative. With regard to individuals, it varies. For a lot of people, it just means a lot, and always has.
What do you attribute to that? Do you think there's something biological, like many people have argued that we're sort of hardwired for religion? Do you think that religion is sort of keeping in lockstep with evolutionary processes?
First of all, we know very little about the evolution of humans in any relevant respect. I mean, we know a lot about, the fossil record and so on. But when you get to human cognitive capacities or and so higher, what we call sometimes higher mental faculties, the evolutionary record is just extremely thin. We're a very recent product of evolution. Modern humans, from a cognitive perspective, cognitive behavioral perspective, only emerged within roughly the last 100,000 years, which is like a flick of an eye in evolutionary time. And we're all more or less identical. There's very little relevant genetic variation among humans, because there's been, we probably come from a small breeding group somewhere in East Africa, probably no later than, say, 50,000 years ago. There's no time for anything to have happened. we can, in a sense, it's like almost, in my view, virtually a tautology to say that a commitment to religious belief is the result of evolution, because we're the result of evolution. Just like my chin is, my toenails are. So are my higher mental faculties. But that just doesn't tell you very much. I mean, we all know, without doing pop science, that people do want to find ways to give an intelligible picture of the universe around them, to find comfort, to find association with others. And they do it in all kinds of ways. Some of them we call religion. A lot of some of it we call magic. In the modern period of the rise of organized modern science, of course, goes way back, but really as a major phenomenon in human life, there's been a concerted attempt to gain an understanding of the world by means that do permit confirmation, disconfirmation, building on the results of others, and so on. So we call science. Okay, that we should push that as far as we can. Surely we want to understand as much as we can about the world, and that's the best way to understand it.